Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
How you doing? Come forward, foot. This is lawyer.
Hey, sir. How you doing? Jacob back, so.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Coming.
No, well, yeah, I guess. I don't know if there's a.
I recognize these guys.
Yeah. And you know them?
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did this come to be? How did we happen to have people in the building?
He's the president of the institute, so he has the right to be in the
Well,
building.
that's yet to be determined.
You don't recognize that he's the president?
Absolutely not. No. I told you.
You guys
Hey, George,
back off,
Please.
because we're still.
Ma'am, we're with the police. This is not going down the way that you keep like. We're going to talk about it. The FBI is coming as well. We'll settle it however we need to.
This is police state action, folks. I want you to know this is absolute jack.
It's not a
This is
political
how
statement,
democracy
sir. This is a law.
This is not the law.
You will follow the law, and we will follow the
Who
law.
are you?
And we'll be fine.
Who are you? You're not going to tell me who you are?
The board has made Mr. Jackson the acting president.
Go ahead.
We talked about this in front of you.
Hey, she's raising you.
So,
According to who, sir?
and
That
how,
would be the side.
you want to talk about the law and how the board was?
No, we don't want to talk. It's been decided.
It hasn't been decided. It's going to be decided by a judge. So,
That's great. Well, is the judge here today?
no, he's not here. You're here with.
I'm here with papers.
Hold on.
Yes.
Do you all work for USIP?
We are the outside counsel.
You do not work for USIP. So why are we having this conversation?
We're the lawyers.
Well, I'm not sure for how long, but if you don't work at this agency or this institute, I think we have a problem, right? We have a
From our
problem.
perspective,
I
you
do.
also don't work for the agency. You certainly don't work for them. I mean, I understand that your position is institute. You don't work for the
This is
agency.
going sideways very quickly.
I think so too.
And I think I'm on higher ground than the two of you, frankly. It's going south. And if you want to hold on to, you're going to run this institute from your law firm, that's not a hill you want to die on. That's all.
And for what purpose are you guys here?
I'm asking the questions here, okay? I'm the president of this institute. I'm asking the questions, not you.
Our work might be done here for the moment.
That's fine.
I think that is wise.
And if the president of the institute is in his office upstairs, tells you that these are unauthorized intruders, what would you do?
You know, as of right now, Mr. Jackson is the president of the institute.
According to,
All the documents that we've seen, the paperwork we've seen.
What are the paperwork that you've seen?
What's that?
What's the paperwork that you've seen?
This paperwork.
The same paperwork you've been emailing.
Yeah, I think that's.
This is how it's going to go
The
down.
board appointing Mr. Jackson as the acting president of the institute.
Okay, but I mean, there are other people on the board.
No, there are not.
Okay.
They've all
Well,
been
thank you for
removed.
your service, and we're gonna move on.
Here's-
We're finished here. You're not allowed.
I've been ordered
not to let anyone pass here, so please don't walk this way. And that's 4 of you are not coming back in today. Okay, that's where we are.
you've got guns, I don't. I have personal property upstairs. Did you escort me up to retrieve it?
That'll be a judgment call. We're gonna need to get
There's
upstairs first.
there are some legal documents, confidential legal materials. Won't you let me retrieve?
Are they specific to this institute or other cases?
Other cases. We're lawyers, outside lawyers.
Yeah. Well,
It's a laptop computer.
we're in shutdown mode.
You won't
we're
let
in
me,
shutdown.
you won't let me retrieve my computer?
We need to get up. We'll let you get your things. We need to get inside, and we need to have a meeting. And we're happy to let you get your personal property, but we need to have our meeting inside first. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. This was body cam footage from March 2025 when DOGE raided the U.S. Institution of Peace. And it shows you the insane amount of not just resistance, but I'll come back to where the biggest problem we have in our country, and that's the judiciary. You heard the attorneys say that it needs to be decided by a judge. If you go back in history over the last 2,000 years, the downfall of society has always been dictated by a judiciary. The infiltration happens in leadership, regardless of whether we're talking about a democracy or I think pretty much, well, they've all fallen. All came down to the judiciary. And in our country, it's rotted to the core. There's a post by Andrew Colvett that put this up. Let's go ahead and put it up. The newly released body cam footage for the March 2025 DOGE raid on the U.S. Institute of Peace shows the insane resistance from Trump faced from day one. As Edward Curtisine, a.k.a. Big Balls, told Jesse Waters last year, this was the least peaceful of all the agencies to deal with, in that it used taxpayer funds for private jets, an armory filled with weapons, and contracts with the former members of the Taliban. They are full-grown adults in full meltdown mode because they realized the gravy train was coming to an end. They referred to lawful orders as jackbooted police state actions, while refusing to vacate the premises after President Trump issued an order firing them and sending in his DOGE team to clean house. What you see in this video isn't democracy, it's an insight into how wild and entitled the DC swamp has grown. Even the officers who were on the scene to ensure order became impatient after realizing these defiant bureaucrats weren't even USIP employees. When one said, "We're their lawyers," who were trying to regain access to classified information pertaining to other cases outside of USIP purview. George Foote, one of the lawyers there, even pushed to have Trump officials arrested as unauthorized intruders. Elon Musk later revealed on X that USIP chief accountant attempted to wipe over a terabyte of financial data in desperate cover-up, but DOGE recovered it and is now with the DOJ for review. Unelected ideologues fleecing taxpayer dollars shouldn't block the people's choice. This is what draining the swamp looks like, and it's horrifyingly just out of control it has all become. And this is FOIA'd by Marissa Cabas from the Handbasket Co. You have lawyers that are playing victims, and that gets into this post. Now, from time to time, I talk about the fact that everyone should be well-armed. And I am well-armed. Now, I have had to become well-armed because of people taking from me what is not theirs. In other words, they take my peace, they come to my home, they try to do harm to me and my family. And frankly, it gets to the point where most of the time my interactions with people on the street are really good. Someone will walk up to me, someone will buy me a coffee. So I had just literally a couple days ago had somebody buy me lunch. Just walked up and said, "Hey, I just want to buy you lunch. Thank you." But I talk about things in absolutes because of the video you just saw. And these radical leftists and these out of control bureaucrats and these judges that were appointed to be sycophants to attack the people in our community and treat us like slaves. They build stories that aren't true. They lie with impunity. And what I'm about to show you is the Lawyers for Dominion Voting Systems Director, Erik Holt, decided to file something. I haven't been served with it, so I just had, and I didn't read it all. I just read a part of it that was sent to me. But they're seeking a protective order. Now, this protective order is in direct, is because of the fact that David Beller, who is a defendant in the Christopher Gregory case. Now, this is one of the biggest corruption cases in Colorado history that ties back to Supreme Court justices covering for each other and creating a separate two-tier justice system. A one that operates so plainly out in the open that you can see it with the person who was charged with 4 felonies, including one of being influencing a public official, and she gets probation. Now, I want to point something out related to this, because Erik Coomer himself ran into a building and tried to influence a public official and was later not charged with that felony either. So you have this thing that has happened where people can commit crimes at will if they're on the political left, which means we're operating as a criminal enterprise inside of this country to this day. But let's put this up there, because one of the things that Erik Coomer's attorney, David Beller, did is that David Beller admitted that he went to Facebook and had them take down a post that was not violent, it wasn't offensive, and it wasn't filled with hate. It was absolutely true. And so I had to reach out to other platforms, and I had to find out if this was actually, because I put it on multiple platforms, and I said, I need you to look at this X post. I need you to look at this. I need you to tell me what you're seeing. But he admitted that he interfered with my First Amendment right, and that he did so in collusion with Facebook. So the reason why I'm late today is that I've been spending time talking to lawyers, and we'll talk a little bit about that too, because these attorneys have tried to get other attorneys removed, and my attorney in the case with Erik Coomer was also removed. Now, they said it was my choice, but it wasn't. It was a special master in this case who decided to break procedure and break the law, illegally ruling as a proxy for the plaintiff, for Erik Coomer. I got him dead to rights. There's so much information out there, it's impossible for him to run away from it. But you have a judge in this case, Olafson, who has refused to acknowledge the fact that a jury in Denver, Colorado found me to be both credible and non-defamatory, won't rule on it. So I had to file a judicial complaint with the Judicial Discipline Committee to ask them to withhold his pay in order to get him to rule on this summary judgment. Now, in the meantime, Coomer's attorneys file all sorts of, default judgments and everything else based on nonsense. And this radical leftist, well-known radical leftist special master who was put on this case, who's not even a judge, has done everything that she can to stand on the side of Coomer. So you have this protective order. Now, the protective order they want, and I'm going to talk about this before I bring Mark in, because this is how deep this rot goes. I personally, I want President Trump to have the full weight of the good part of our government on top of the people who have committed treason, sedition, and done things horribly to our country that has led to systematic slavery across nearly every state in this nation. You can see it. With stolen elections, mail-in ballots, machines, they have literally a conspiracy to commit treason, slow-boiled treason over 2 decades that has happened in this country, sponsored by people like George Soros, Yuval Noah Harari, the WEF Forum, and radical leftists who have been stealing it from us, like we saw that first video, for all of our adult lives, treating us like slaves, flying around on private jets and having their own little stash. It reminds me of what happened in Michigan. But here's the post. Lawyers for Dominion Voting System Director Erik Coomer are seeking a protective order that I am not allowed to talk about them on socials. They say that I represent a threat by talking about them on the air. You're not allowed to talk about David Beller being a part of one of the largest corruption cases in the history of Colorado that's tens of millions of dollars. Not allowed to talk about him. He's a named defendant. And by the way, there's multiple cases. There's a QTAM case, and then there's the case that has been unsealed. They want to freeze out the ability to the crimes committed by Coomer and his band of criminal attorneys to be kept from the public. They use this post as an example and weave together a web of lies to tell a story that is not there. I have never threatened any of them. I have said that they will go to prison and that they should be tried for treason. I guess that does come with consequences. David Beller is the attorney for Coomer, who's also the target of a massive corruption and conspiracy case out of Colorado that includes all of the Colorado Supreme Court justices and much of the Denver court judges and judiciary. He was a part of a bribery conspiracy that included Jared Polis and AG Phil Weasel Weiser. Charlie Kane is a lawyer for Coomer that assaulted Peter Tickton and then tried to have him kicked off the Patrick Byrne case. Only the video was slowed down and he did in fact lie. And he did in fact assault Peter, an 80-year-old attorney. Now they're using the same crooked judiciary to attempt to silence me for calling a bad people to pay a price for their misdeeds. The funny thing is, I said I wanted demons to pay the price and the cartel trash in the judiciary that serves the crime family. Is this actually an admission that they were in fact a part of the cartel trash heaps that break the law and commit misdeeds? There is always an admission, isn't there? This may have been it, and now they are weaponizing the very court that they have weaponized for over 5 years. I'm going to seek justice through the injustice system. Let's see how this goes. So let's go back, and this is the one they put up. Now, they had a picture of me holding a gun. How many times, Patrick, Damon, how many times I put up a gun and said, I have a carry? Can people hear you or no? You make it so that they can hear you. I'm going to read that too, so don't go too high.
Okay, they can hear us.
Okay, they can hear you. How many times have I done that? A half dozen times?
Yeah. If you watch the show, we know you carried.
Are you offended by that?
No.
You feel threatened by that?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty comfortable around you.
These people, you're going to have to open this, by the way. It's a longer one than just that part. These people act as if somewhere along the line, sorry, I had some of these strawberries. Act as if me holding a gun is a direct threat to anyone. I have 3 gun stores in 5 ranges. What do you think actually I wouldn't carry? Are we allowed to carry? Guys, are we allowed to carry? Are we allowed to? It still is the United States, I think. So this is the post that they had taken down from Facebook, which, by the way, now we can at least include a lawsuit against David Beller for defamation, which it leads to strikes against you. And then I can actually get access to information from Facebook so I can bring them in as a non-party to this deal as well, because they struck me down before. So my guess is David Beller and Charlie Kane and Brad Clower and all them are all part of this. They're the part of the thing that has basically been able to suppress things that happen on the internet with Erik Coomer, take down all of that information as well. I'm sure of it, actually. So now we get to drive Facebook into it, is the ultimate outcome. And here's what I wrote. I'm not angry anymore. I'm done. I want vengeance. I want each and every one of these demons to pay the price for their misdeeds. The judiciary is a group of cartel trash heaps serving the crime family, held up by cops and cartel captains who allow these stupid Fs to continue. Teener's in jail and this cunt gets probation. And save me the Joe, watch your language. You can rape 3 children in Colorado before you go to jail. You can groom children in schools, put sex books in second graders' hands. You can watch elections are stolen, property taxes triple, businesses are ravaged, and Democrat pieces of trash can lie and cheat with impunity and get probation, while Tina Peters rots in jail for 9 years. I pray to God complete vengeance upon these pieces of trash. I pray for God's complete vengeance upon these pieces of trash. No one can fix Colorado without the people. We must throw them out, all of them. Now, this is a response, and this is in their protection order, by the way. Nothing ever references them other than that they're trash, because they are trash and they are liars. But they wrote this whole thing out that they're in fear for themselves and said that I have multiple times called for their death, which I have never done. So they lied in this, which is grounds, by the way, to have those attorneys disbarred. And I know this is a fact because there was another lawsuit that came against me about a transgender person that was over in Ukraine. This was a journalist, by the way. And her attorney lied. And he was disbarred. So I am going to look to get David Beller disbarred. And if they don't disbar him, I am going to sue David Beller. And I am going to sue Facebook. And collectively, the two of them can figure out who's in charge. And whoever works for Facebook that decided that somewhere along the line that they can do whatever they want in creating a story that's not true. Just like Eric Coomer created a story that we had safe and secure elections and that he didn't have anything to do with it, only to have to admit that he let Serbian coders into the source code to just do whatever they want. Put it back up, because I want to talk about what I meant on this post specifically. I think it's important for you all to hear it. Put it back up. This is from Jeremy Jahola. He's a Channel 9 news anchor. New former Colorado Democratic State Senator Sonia Lewis was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 150 hours of community service for fabricating letters during an ethics investigation. She was convicted on 4 felony counts. That is what I was referring to. But these pieces of trash literally use this in order to go get a protection order. And by the way, did so improperly. Improperly. Improperly meaning you're actually not allowed to issue a protective order the way they did it. My attorney today is like, that's grounds by itself for sanctions. So we're going to get sanctions on it. It's going to be real easy. Oh, but you're in the system. That's all right. We'll move it to federal court. And we'll at least have a shot at getting an attorney or a judge that is a good judge. You certainly can't get one in Denver because we've cycled through and now all we have is judges that literally destroy people's lives. And if you think this is just a city and county of Denver problem, it's not. I want to share this with you that happened over the weekend. This is a post, a text that came from Senator Thune's conversation with a staffer from someone here on X. A conversation with a staffer, one of Senator Thune's staffers, and this was put on X and I wanted to share it. So this is a text that came from Senator Thune's conversation with a staffer from someone here on X. It was sent to me. He says that the fraud is rare, and that is why he opposed the SAVE Act. 81% of all people in the country want it. 72% of Democrats want it. The guy ignores the facts. When I look at the data, in nearly every state that stands on the side of the radical leftists and globalists. Who owns him? Who is paying him? Why is it this clown betrayer can treat the people like slaves and allow the stealing of the election to continue? There is no way to see this turd, is there? No other way to see this turd, is there? And the text says this. This is a text to what the staff said to this person when she hung up. I think John Thune staffer just was reading from a prepared statement when I asked her why he's opposed voter ID SAVE Act. And she said because he believes it's very rare. Fraud is very rare. And I said I live in California, and we know for a fact that there has been fraud and abuse for years, and that many of us out here is totally support the Voter SAVE Act, and that many of us are involved locally in central committees, etc. And we will be passing the information out and around. So I want to, as we go into this conversation with Mark Cook, who's a cybersecurity expert, I want to put this in perspective for you. If fraud is that rare, why not pass it? Why not make it so that people have to show up to actually vote? Why not make it so you have to present an ID? Why go against the majority? Now you say you're for democracy, Senator Thune, because what you're doing is you're literally standing on the necks of Americans as a Republican. And I keep telling everyone, I had a conversation, by the way, with one of the other governor candidates last night. It was a great conversation. And I sat there and said, the amount of ridiculousness, how the system is set up to hurt the people is absolutely insane. And in this case, you have 82% of the country that says, we want this. Give us something to not be divided and to argue over. And yet, no, Daddy says you're not allowed to have safe and secure elections, and you're not allowed to oppose anyone that stands up and says, we get to keep the elections as they are, because we get to put people like Senator Thune in that position. We get to put people inside of the box that don't represent the interests of Americans. And over and over and over and over again, they get away with it. And we end up on the side trying to figure out how we can just eat whatever crumbs they lay on the table. And no matter where you turn, I had the father of a child that was raped by a man reach out to me. And he said, Joe, they let him go. They let him out. I'm going to go kill him. And I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Let's talk through it. So then I thought to myself, how do you handle this? What would you do for your child if your child was raped by a man? What? What'd you say? Okay. Would you do the same thing? Would you seek to redeem whatever you could redeem with your daughter? And yet I told him not to. And so I had that conversation last night. And she said, Joe, I know. And I go, make it make sense. How you can take someone that commits murder, commits a heinous crime, stabs someone, kills someone, and you say, yep, we can't rehabilitate him, so you turn the keys on the jail, you open it up, and you let them walk free. And she just shook her head. She goes, yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. No, it's lawlessness. It shows us that the system is designed to make victims of our society, to make us slaves. And everyone can see it. I was like, do you not understand that the people in this state and in this country are at a breaking point where right now they want vengeance? That these demons, these absolute evil people are letting people in our society get victimized. And at the same time they're doing that, they're stripping us of our Second Amendment rights, going after our First Amendment, saying, you're not allowed to speak truth, creating a system of lawfare and sticks that can just beat the American people to death, and then put special masters and they put lawyers and judges in place that lie with impunity and get away with it. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think that the people are going to do? And yet these cases happen more and more. I had a guy named Bill Lindsay reached out to me, 24 years in prison. He was sentenced to for $3 million. And what they say was some sort of scheme. It happened back in 2012. He was sentenced to prison in 2015. Court overruled it. He ended up going to prison in 2018, served just around 9 years, 17 or 18. Or, excuse me, 15. And he got out, went back in. And this guy says, Joe, I had this great idea. And they wanted me to tell him how it was done. Now, I actually, serendipitously, this guy reached out to me. But I remember having a conversation where someone gave me a pitch deck and said, hey, Joe, listen, take a look at this. This is this thing where you have power and you get power signs. So I remember somebody pitching me on it long after 2015, which means someone took his idea and ran with it. And if that's the case, then how do you charge someone with a crime? I have another woman that sent me a bunch of information that said, my husband went to prison for 13 years and he died. So people are sending me all sorts of cases and saying, that happened to me in Jefferson County. This happened to me in Douglas County. This happened to me in El Paso County. This happened to me in Denver County. This happened to me in Jefferson County. This happened to me, in Adams County. If you think that I'm just like, it's anomalous and everyone that watches me are people that have been persecuted, that's not true. But people are starting to, the woman that literally whose brother got sentenced, I think, to 20 years in prison. 20 years in prison he got sentenced to. He'd been out for 9 years. Black dude used to, I guess he was a part of gangs. And then I said something to his sister, by the way. I guess that was offensive. I said something to his sister, and I said, listen, I just wish he would learn to walk away when someone says those words to him. And this other person from this Black Excellence organization called me, and I was like, listen, she goes, well, you were pretty offensive when you said this. And I thought to myself, the guy's doing 20 years in prison for punching a guy at a Waffle House. And you're talking to me about me saying that I wish he would have taken a different path and not punched the guy so he could get 20 years. And you act like somewhere along the line that this sort of victimology it's okay. Let's just justify the fact that he punched this guy so he can get out, while you throw other people in jail for 9 years, while you let your little buddies go free for probation for the same charge. Oh, and then there's the Eric Coomer running into a building, going in and drinking, lying like a rug to the police, whose lawyers negotiate on the side of the road not to get a felony. He still committed the crime. And to this day, no, we're just going to let it go. Because why wouldn't you? He's in the clan. He's in the group. We have Mark. Is Mark here yet? Oh, man. Let's just bring Mark in. Mark, welcome to the show, bro.
Glad to be here.
You can start to see that I don't know how long you've been listening.
For a few minutes. I've sensed you're upset.
You know, another thing that came up last night, I said, listen, if you think that this is me angry, this is a righteous indignation. This is me flipping tables. Because the people in our society, the people in our community, the people in our country are treated as adjunct slaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are. And let me see if I get my head in the right spot here. Yeah, I mean, we are living the symptoms of decades of election manipulation. Our current state of our nation, of our states, of our counties is not reflective of the will of the people that live there. That's why we're seeing all.
You can't even get the will of the people when you have Congress. And he says, oh, well, it's rare. And by the way, Mark, I am yet to have a conversation with anybody off the record. Last night I had a conversation with a governor candidate, and I go, are our elections free and fair? And the answer, she said, was no. But I can't say that publicly, Joe. I'm like, okay, that checks. Because because it's this idea. She goes, you can't get elected that way. And I said, so what you're doing is admitting to me that the system is designed to favor this group of people and not the people in the community. You're just admitting that the people are slaves.
Yeah, and she's actually enabling the people to continue to be slaves. She's perpetuating it. So when we all stand up and say we're done and speak the truth, then it's over. But I've talked to a lot of candidates that say exactly the same thing. They're too afraid to say the word election. Right. They won't say it because they're told the same thing. You know, if they're already in office, they're told they'll be kicked off this committee and that committee, and they'll lose their access to this. And they think, well, you know what? It's better that I have some control, some access than nothing. But if we keep doing that, then we're never going to get off this boat. We're never going to become anything other than the slaves we've become. And so what people need to do is stand the F up, speak the truth, speak their mind, and let's fix this together. Strip the entire system out, and we put in a system that the people control. The citizens have zero control of their elections as they stand. None. And our election officials, they don't have control either. They think they do. They have a facade of control at best. And really, the only people that are running our elections are the corporations and the politicians that control the system. What could go wrong? And I think the American people are about done. I can tell you right now, I am done. Done, over, kaput, not putting up with it another second. But until the majority of the American people feel the same way, we're never going to get out of this. So if people want to continue to be enslaved for the rest of their effing lives, then continue doing what you're doing because it's working really well. But if anyone in this country would actually like to be free and have true liberty, now's the time. Now's the time to be done with the system.
Okay, so this is I want to go through this if we can, because I agree with you fully. I got this next article. I want you to put this up first. This is a Denver Post thing from just a few days ago. And this first one is, why would Jared Polis destroy his legacy over Tina Peters? The state Democratic Party is in full-blown mutiny mode now as Polis has signed signals intention to cave to Trump's demands. What do you think, Mark, Polis's legacy is? Higher crime? Maybe it's the destruction of First Amendment and Second Amendment rights. How about the tripling of property tax, or nearly $1 billion in the hole for the budget in 2025? That?
Well, they got Polis by the balls, and they've had him by the balls since his early 20s. He's been controlled this entire time. He's being used. So maybe he is making a decision to take the reins off of him and actually do the right thing. I mean, the right thing is so obvious. But that's what that's about, is that the control mechanisms that have been also controlling Polis this whole time are pissed that he's breaking free from their control. And I hope he does. I really hope, I pray for him that he does the right thing and that he frees himself from the people that have enslaved him as well. I really do. It's really obvious to me.
So then I want to come back to this specifically on Polis. So I know we're going to talk about election stuff, and I want to talk about Shawn Smith when he was on Real America's Voice. But this article was from the Denver Post, and it basically says Tina Peters' clemency or sentence was drastically harsher than those of 2 Democratic lawmakers. And most people don't know this, that there was more than one. So the first one comes where Sonia Lewis last week was given for 4 felony counts, influencing a public official, probation, 150 hours of community service. But here's something else, Mark. In 2023, a former rep, Tracy Bennett, she's a Democrat from Boulder, faced felony charges related to residency fraud and plead guilty to attempt to influence a public servant and perjury about lying about her place of residency to run for re-election in a more favorable political district. Okay? Got that?
Mm-hmm.
She faced up to 8 years in prison.
Total fraud. Absolutely.
But ready for this? Mm-hmm. Committed a crime that literally is arguably misrepresentation of the people. I mean, it's pretty bad, right? This is fraud at a whole new level. What do you think her sentence was?
A slap on the wrist.
She got a deferred sentence. Deferred sentence means that the charges go away completely. She's no longer a felon. And on top of that, she got probation.
Yeah. This is what happens when the criminals are running the show.
And they are absolute 100% criminals to a degree that has gotten people like you and me and millions of other people, millions, to say we've had enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not people that are just confused that we're up against. This is a criminal empire that has used our election systems and many other systems to infiltrate every aspect of our society and our government. They're on the inside. The criminals are on the show. That's it. That's who we're fighting.
So that leads me to the next question, or the next thing, by the way. By the way, I'm going to ask everyone to show up for this. So I'm going to actually give you a time and a place that we can actually show up to court for this protection order. And I want that place to be packed out. I want hundreds of people to be there at that day, that they decide that these people are in imminent threat after 6 years and making up lies. And I'm going to ask for sanctions that day. And I'm going to serve them with a lawsuit. They have to show up. So I'm going to serve them with a lawsuit while I'm sitting there. But I'd like to, I think it's March 19th. I don't know what the date is. March 19th. It'll be in downtown. I'll give you the time and the place. But I would like to see 1,000 people show up for that, in solidarity to basically say that these pieces of trash are not going to take from us what isn't ours, what isn't theirs. Okay. I want to play this really quick. This is Shawn Smith on Tina and clemency on Real America's Voice. Let's go ahead and play it.
Well, I haven't talked to her about it. I don't talk to her, very frequently, but I'll tell you, I don't think she's going to accept any offer of clemency that requires her to express remorse. because she was doing her duty as a public servant, attending to her sworn oath, and they've persecuted her for it. And now if the governor wants as a condition of her release that she express remorse for it, I think it'll be a cold day in hell before she does that.
Oh, boy. I mean, what a great patriot if you're going to sacrifice, 8 more years, 7 more years of your life in order to make this point. To me, I know she's being held hostage. To me, I look at what the government in Colorado is doing as nothing more than terroristic behavior. Maybe you just say, I'm remorseful. We all know she's not. I mean, we all know she's being forced basically at gunpoint in order to say it.
You remember what happened, the difference between like down in Georgia. So co-indictees, co-defendants, Jeff Clark refused to turn on the president, refused to, disavow his prior involvement, the recommendations he had made as benign and, according to his obligations as they were. Jenna Ellis, on the other hand, she did disavow, and she did turn on everyone else. I don't think Tina will do it. And the reason I don't think she will do it is because even in the courtroom, even as prejudiced as Judge Barrett was against her, he deprived her of due process. He prevented her from presenting an adequate defense, especially to considerations of what her intent was. And that's the big distinction. Sonia Jacques Lewis was taking care of herself. She was just exactly like Polis, just exactly like Weiser and Griswold. She came into office in 2019, and she was, as so many leftists do, she was using her public office for her own benefit. So she had her staff doing like errands for her and yard work, and they sort of rebelled because in Colorado, the staffers in the State House are unionized. And so they rebelled against her. She refused to sign off on their time cards, and then she submitted forged letters of support from them in her defense in this ethics review, and that's what she got convicted for. It's nothing like Peter's case. Peter's was trying to do duty under federal and state law, and they just have persecuted her for it relentlessly. Polis could have put a stop to it at any time.
Mark?
I love Shawn. He speaks what's on my mind often.
So I do talk to Tina often. And I can tell you right now, it'll be a cold day in hell before she actually says that she's guilty of anything. She won't do it.
I figured. And I'll tell you what, I'd support her either way. But that's what I would do. And I'm not surprised at all because she was one of the bravest people I know. And she cares very much about the truth and what's right. She doesn't sacrifice herself. She was made a deal years ago in the middle of all of this that if she just said everything was fine with our elections and she was wrong, that they'd drop all charges. And she will say did not take that deal because the truth means more to her. So I respect her.
If Tina were to stay in jail, if Tina were to have to stay in jail as a result of this and be the Mandela of her time, I will have paid her over $1 million while she's in there so she can keep her home.
Noble.
I mean, think about that.
That's what the state of Colorado has. Yeah, state of Colorado has stolen not only that from her, which is just money, but they've stolen every single second from her, taken that from her life. When she should be spending this time in her life after 70 years enjoying every second, then cherishing every second that she's got left in this gift of life that we are all given. They have stolen it from her.
I don't, by the way, I don't say that as a good on you, Joe. I say it because there's a cost to doing what's right. Yep. There's a cost to standing up and being loyal to the people around you. There's a cost, and that cost is pretty substantial, all the way around. Would you agree?
Absolutely, 100%. Look at the cost of being that Tina has had being loyal to every American citizen and to our Constitution and to truth and to God. Look at all the wonderful patriots that have stood up against Goliath and lost everything: friends, family, homes, savings accounts, all for what's right. A lot of amazing people in this whole thing, and we're gonna be successful because we automatically win if we don't give up. The only way they win is if we stop fighting. If we never stop fighting, we automatically win. And how organized we get dictates how fast we win. And I'm ready to get organized.
I agree with you fully. I want to show you something else that's happening. We saw this happening where the 25 Erik states have refused, some of them being Republican, have refused to turn over the voter rolls in those states. So the FBI decided that the election history of Maricopa County is problematic. So you probably heard about this. They went in and said, thank you very much. We're going to take the election records. Play it.
The FBI has decided that the history of Maricopa County is problematic and that under federal law, a county or a state must administer the election the way their state laws do require it. If they don't, it is a federal legal violation. This is why they raided Fulton County, another place with a long history of irregularities and misconduct and, quite frankly, just incompetent election counting. And so the focus in this grand jury subpoena that went in the last few days to Maricopa County, seized many gigabytes of election data, is the 2024 election, which is interesting because President Trump won there. But there is a discovery that was made by congressional observers. Every year, the House Administration Committee sends observers, one Democrat, one Republican, to various voting centers. One of the teams, the Republican-Democrat team that went to Maricopa County, observed something very disturbing. They took pictures. They wrote a long report. Congressman Abe Hamadeh hinted at this in an oversight letter recently. The information in that report was so troubling to the FBI, and when coupled to the things that the Arizona Senate found in 2020 that were raised as concerns, and the things that Hamadeh and Kari Lake raised in 2022, they were able to get a grand jury subpoena from a federal grand jury and execute the transmission of a large amount of voter data. They're going to go through that data looking for some of the telltale signs that were in this congressional report. I hope in the next couple of days to make that congressional report public so everybody can see what it was that observers on Brian Stiles' House Administration Committee saw. Brian Stiles himself acknowledged that they were working with federal authorities on this specific Arizona matter. So you got Congress working with the FBI. And I think this is phase 2 of about a 5-phase look at states, particularly blue states or blue areas of states where elections are not administered the way the law says they're supposed to be. And as a result, the FBI may come in and prosecute people because it is a federal felony if you don't follow your state's laws, if you don't treat everybody the same under your state law.
I love it.
I mean, John Solomon's one of the people that told me there's no election fraud when I sat at the Miles Guo deal in New York.
When was that?
2022, 2023.
People can learn. People's eyes are opening. Now, I'm not saying everyone's.
Yeah. Okay. For me, it wasn't the fact that you have to learn or not learn. It's the fact that you were not willing to learn at the time. And you waited until the rest of the society caught up to you, and then you decided to get on board. That just shows a weak disposition.
Hey, however people get on board, I'm happy they're on board.
I agree with you.
I'm not going to chastise them too much over how long they take or what excuses they got. I just want them on board, and I want to fix this problem. And we have a massive problem here. And we've got widespread evidence of the issue all over the place. We've got ample, overwhelming evidence. We just have to process this evidence. And I'm happy that we're seeing some stuff on a federal level happening. I do know that our citizens at the county level have to keep pushing as well. This is not a top-down fix we're going to have to rely on, or we're going to be able to rely on. It is going to have to be a bottom-up and a top-down, and we're going to meet in the middle. And so people, just trust me, do not think you can sit back and wait for someone else to fix this problem for you. It ain't going to happen. And just like we thought in 16 through 20 that Trump was going to drain that swamp, right? The swamp is huge. It's not possible for one man to drain it. It's not possible for one administration to drain it on their own. They need us. The people have to stand up. And if it fails, it's going to be on us anyway. So you may as well get busy right now. And that's why I'm traveling all around county by county, doing what I do. Not only educating the public, but also doing a little bit of investigative work. And I've got a lot of good material, we'll say, and a lot of stuff I can't talk about, but I'm not overly shocked at what's happening in Maricopa and the other places that will be happening in the near future.
Let's look at what's happening in Colorado specifically, because this is where you're from. This is where I live. Been here for 30 years. Okay.
Got you beat.
And yes, I know you do. And Mark, I don't want to take away from the amazing work that you've done traveling all over the country. People don't actually even understand the stuff that you've had to go through, from axle repairs to it nearly getting ripped off the back to the frame falling apart inside of the deal, and you had to be somewhere in 3 days, and you just put together some super glue and bolted some boards together, and away you went, right? So I don't want to take away from that, because I think it's an amazing sacrifice that you've made for many years. But the sacrifices are so great for so many people. And I would say in Colorado, Tina tops the list. But there
100%.
are just, there's a guy named Erik Holt. Here's the thing. Let's put this up next to us, if you would. This is the silencing of a watchman. Imagine losing your home, your career, and your livelihood, all for reporting clear election violations. This is the chilling reality for Colorado Fire Chief Erik Holt. After reviewing 40 hours of surveillance footage and flagging blatant rule breaking on a polling site, he handed his findings to investigators. The DA's office admitted it was clear violations occurred, and then they did nothing. Actually, they did something. They fired him. The Democrat playbook, compliance or ruin, while the left constantly shrieks about protecting democracy, their actions in Colorado tell a much darker story. When the honest public servant points out irregularities, the Democrat-aligned machine does investigate the fraud. They investigate the whistleblower. Sacrifice Holt, a veteran and single father, had to sell his house to fight for his First Amendment rights. The judicial gaslight, the lower court actually claimed his private investigation wasn't protected speech because he was a public employee. The goal, total intimidation. They want every government worker to know that if you see something, you better keep your mouth shut or they will destroy your life. The fight isn't over. With the help of the Mountain States Legal Foundation, Chief Holt is taking this to the federal appeals court on March 17th. This isn't about just one fire district. It's about whether the ruling class can officially make it illegal to report election crimes. If they can fire a fire chief for telling the truth, who's next? Who's next in your account, Mark?
Every single one of us. They're coming after all of us. And it's not Democrats. It's the infiltrators that have infiltrated the Democrat Party. They've also infiltrated the Republican Party. They've infiltrated everything, every aspect of society, every agency,
They're terrorists.
every part of government.
They're electoral terrorists. Right?
They're more than that. Absolutely. Yeah. And
this is electoral terrorism. This is literally treason to the highest order. Absolutely. Under the guise of democracy. This is the epitome of a conspiracy to destroy from within our own country, foreign or domestic enemies.
Absolutely. And we don't even have a democracy. They want us to have one, but they seem to forget that we have a constitutional republic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're living in the middle of this right now. And
So-
I just keep wondering when people are going to have enough. When are people going to stand up on a larger scale? There are a lot of people that know what's going on that are keeping quiet right now. Now is your moment, people. This is it. You're not going to get another chance. This is when we all speak up together and we all fix this together. That's it.
It's funny, the candidate last night that I had dinner with and got a chance to have a conversation. It was a great conversation, by the way. I actually think very highly of her. But she she made some admissions and then said, well, there's nothing to do about it because you can't do anything if you don't get elected. And I said, Democrats are not my problem. Like what you just said, they're not my problem. Democrats, Republicans, independents, I don't even care if we disagree on social issues. I could care less. Fundamentally, we don't disagree on opportunity for your communities. We don't disagree on making sure that we have morals and ethics in place that don't allow crimes to be committed against our people. And we don't fundamentally disagree with having those same opportunities for our children and them having a better life than we do, no matter who you are.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. We're all getting ripped off, every one of us.
So guess what happened?
Democrats lied to people more.
So guess what happened with in the House, in the Colorado House, the House Democrats? Guess what they just passed? These aren't people, by the way, that were elected by Democrats. These are demons that literally ran for office to get into. And again, if you get rid of machines and mail-in ballots in the state of Colorado, we are bright red. And even the Democrats will celebrate what that means in lowering taxes and creating opportunity.
Well, we'll get real American citizens in those positions of influence and power.
Even Democrats,
Absolutely.
On those places.
I'm perfectly fine having. Please, I want American citizens that are Democrats in those positions and that are Republicans. I just want American citizens in there. I don't want this corrupt regime to be in there any longer because we're all hurting. We are all getting destroyed. We're all getting enslaved by this entire system of people that have taken over our elections. That's it. It's as simple as that.
And it's gotten so bad, Mark, that I can't have a conversation with anyone out there without them saying to me, I'm ready. I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. And I'm like, hold on. When I had a father whose daughter was raped, called me and said, they let him go. I'm going to go kill him. I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Imagine having to say that to a father when you know what I would do.
I've had to stop people from doing bad things. I've had to have those sit-down conversations with them as well and beg them not to, because frankly, the American people, many of them have had enough, and they are ready.
Yeah, they're ready. It's a powder cake.
Absolutely. I call it a pressure cooker, right? Where it's a pressure cooker in the red right now. It's about to blow. And a very simple way to fix this right now is put elections back in the hands of the people immediately.
Because they'll resolve it.
They'll resolve it. Period. And it takes care of everything. Everyone wins if that happens.
So, Mark, Palantir left Colorado, did not tell anyone, did not even tell their HR people until the day that they actually flipped the switch and said, get out. They had it all set to move people. They fired a bunch of people, gave people a bunch of packages to move across the country. And they were like, we're out. In the middle of the night, Mark. Literally in the middle of the night. This is one of the largest data intelligence companies in the world. Peter Thiel is not a dumb man, right?
That's correct.
He had to leave. And this is where I think that people in Colorado do not understand the significance of this. I said it last night, and she looked at me and she like shook her head. And I go, why aren't you guys talking about this? Like, you're in you have the ability to talk to the people of Colorado, and you're so afraid that you might ignite a fire you can't put out. You're afraid of it.
It's light the damn fire.
And that's where we're at. We have judges that are destroying people's lives. We have attorneys that are basically ruling with impunity. We have police officers that are used for that. I mean, I talked last week about what was happening in Douglas County, and I went down and I actually met with some people down there, and a beautiful conversation with a beautiful man who is in law enforcement down there, and his second in command. Had a great conversation with him, and but I had to have a conversation about something so disgusting happening in a Republican community through the judiciary that I couldn't even believe was happening. And I'm not going to comment on it yet because I think we're going to get an outcome here that is favorable to the truth. Mark, everywhere you turn, men are losing hope. They're in a state of perpetual despair. Am I wrong?
No, a lot of people are losing hope. But the loss of hope and the fear are the only things that are going to stop us from winning. That's it. Forget the fear.
Well, hold on a second.
Throw the fear out.
The loss of hope leads to working the problem, because I keep telling men to work the problem. And we keep having these brotherhood meetings where we talk this through. So the lack of hope actually leads to one of two things: either a state of complete disrepair, where you can't get them back on track, or a state of work the problem, and they start to operate with purpose, right? So I think most men are doing this purpose, huh?
It's all fixable. Every bit of this is fixable. None of this is lost, but it is going to take us to take action to fix it. And that action does not mean doing bad things to people. That action means just getting involved, engaged. And if we educate a majority of people in this country, we would solve the problem right there. That's one of the reasons that the bad guys have been so successful in this, is most people in this country don't know what's going on. They don't truly understand what's going on. If they truly understood what's going on, we wouldn't have an issue right now. Because last I checked, there's over 300 million of us. We win in the numbers.
No, I totally agree with you in so many different ways. I totally agree with you. So in Colorado, Mark, they've stolen our voice, they've stolen elections, they've created this kabuki theater, they allowed illegals to vote in our elections, they've destroyed the sovereignty of the state, and they've taken away more tax dollars from the people of Colorado and made them all in a state of absolute poverty. Even people that make $150,000 to $200,000 a year are living in that state, right?
Yeah.
The House Democrats said, you know what the most important thing is to you? We want to pass this thing that makes it difficult for citizen petitions to get on the ballot. The bill is designed to silence the voice of the people and limit our ability to put a citizen referendum on the ballot. So it's totally undemocratic. And they passed it 40 to 22. 40 to 22. To stop the people.
Normal people.
Correct.
They're all controlled.
Correct.
They are all controlled. They're either demons or they're fully controlled. That's it. We are not being represented by the people anymore.
This is a captured society, a captured state of really demonic, really bad people.
That's correct. And cowards.
And cowards.
Those in the middle that are too afraid to veer off from the direction they're told to be on, that won't stand up for themselves. They are part of the problem as well. And I pray that they reach deep inside and decide to start doing the right thing and know they are not alone, and know that even if they perceive that they've been on the other side, that there will be plenty of us with open arms willing to accept them and join them to fix this. Heck, I do with Polis right now. Polis said, you know what? I've just been totally captured for decades and decades. I haven't been able to get away from it. I want to get away from it. I don't know what to do anymore. I want to do the right thing. Will you guys accept me and help me correct all this? I'd stand right beside that man and do that.
So would I. And not only would I do that, but I've had many Democrats that have come to the dance. Mm-hmm. Many. Can I switch gears for a minute? I want to tell you about what I did this weekend.
All right, let's hear it.
So I have had a 5.5-year feud with Peter Boyles. Probably one of the most prolific names. He was literally the main stage. Millions of people every month tuned into him out of Colorado. He was the voice. Now, he's 82 years old. He has a show every Saturday. And about 3 weeks ago, he came on and started bad-mouthing me with a guy named Dick Wadhams and a few other people. And so I was like, all right, well, let me call in. So I called in 3 weeks ago, and I just let him have it about election fraud and So fast forward, Salem got sued because of me, because I told the truth about our friend. You know who our friend is, right? Eric Coomer. Yeah. Which, Mark, you've seen much of the evidence. mean, just say it. This is what he said on the call. Don't worry about it. Trump's not going to win. I made effing sure of it. You've seen the evidence. Did he have the ability to affect the outcome of the election in 2020?
Absolutely. And has had the ability to affect outcomes of elections for well over a decade.
He was the original chief architect in 2005, hired by Smartmatic for Sequoia voting system as the chief architect a month after they acquired the organization in 2006. CFIS is the one that came out and said, you must sell. You cannot be connected to Smartmatic, not understanding the implications of who Eric Coomer was. He's been
I got a ton of internal Sequoia documents with Eric's name all over it. I know exactly what he was capable of. Absolutely. Without any question.
Do you think that he told the truth in the deposition for Byrne?
I don't know if I can comment on that.
Okay. I can. The answer is no.
I won't argue with you.
So Peter Boyles and I have had a frictionless relationship. And one of the things he said on the original call 3 weeks ago is, people got sued because of you. And I'm like, they got sued because they wanted to defend the truth until doing Patriot stuff. They were asked to do the Patriot stuff, not speak about being Patriot stuff, and they decided that they were going to fold. Is that true?
That is true. A lot of people were told to fold. Absolutely.
So Patrick didn't fold. I didn't fold. The Gateway Pundit did not fold. I can go down the list. The Trump campaign did not fold. Nobody folded. We did not fold. And now we're in the jockeying of liars in the attorneys. But so I had this conversation with him, and he said to me, he goes, Joe, my daughter got attacked. And you know how I feel about other people's families.
Yeah.
They do what you want to me. You don't ever touch a man's family. You don't touch his daughters. You don't touch his sons. You don't touch his wife.
Period.
You have one objective. You have one. I don't care how bad the person is. I will not carry that over to family members. I just won't do it.
Yeah, you don't do that. Like if someone touched my family, wrong effing move.
So he said that, and I said, I have to stop you here. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that happened to your daughter. At no point do I ever want to do anything that hurts the man's family. And he stopped, paused for a minute, and he said, I want to have you in the studio. I walked in the studio on Saturday. I was supposed to be there for an hour. I spent all 3 hours there.
Great.
And the show was spectacular.
I cannot wait to see it.
And then after it, I got to get permission from him to rebroadcast it, but I think he'll give it to us. We'll put it out there. But after the show, we went to lunch. Here's a guy that literally despised me. We sat down, we broke bread, we reconciled, and he's an amazing man. He's just an amazing guy. And it finally took the sitting down, and I told him, Mark, I need you to meet with him too, by the way, because I told him, I was like, I'm going to bring Mark, I'm going to bring Shawn, we're going to have a big party, and you're going to see all the evidence. And then at the end, you tell me, he's like, man, I'm not sure I want to see it.
Everyone wants to know, come on, raise your level of awareness.
Yeah.
We have to communicate.
Yeah.
That's how we fix it.
But it was 3 hours that was amazing. And I got over 300 text messages. He got over 80 text messages on his side. We talked this morning for quite a bit of time. Jeff Hunt and Jeff and Bill's show in Denver. Have you heard of those guys? Jeff and Bill?
I know Jeff. I love Jeff, and I know Bill.
So Jeff has a crush on me. He likes to run his mouth about me, which is fine. I guess he said something about that somewhere along. I was going to mention him in the 3 hour thing I had with. But why would I? Like I don't even know Jeff Hunt. My point being is that they had a little conversation this morning about my 3 hour meeting, and they were a little butthurt that it was fire. And I bet you 100,000 people watched it. A lot of people on our side that watched it, my side. But it is I think it's a testament, Mark, that we can actually overcome.
We can. Absolutely. I know we can. We just have to communicate. And we got to communicate, and we have to talk about the truth. That's it. There's only one truth. There are not two truths. There's one. It's really simple.
Yeah.
And if we all talk about the truth, the facts, the answer is very clear.
Yeah. Let's Jake Lang.
Okay.
So, tell me what you think. I've known Jake a long time. I've known him all the way back to 2021 J6.
There's a lot of stuff, I try not to talk about what I don't understand and what I don't know. I don't talk about people unless I've, walked for a few miles in their shoes. The only thing that I wasn't real impressed with Jake is that post he put out there saying, we're going to meet at the prison and break Tina out. I thought that was in really bad taste and not what anyone needed to hear, and was very irresponsible to put out. Other than that, he's an interesting guy. I just don't know him, so I'm not going to make a statement yet.
Yeah, so I've known Jake, and I love Jake. But I have a tendency to love on people that I think are misunderstood and partially crazy. Because he definitely went into Minneapolis.
That's why we're friends.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yeah. But I saw him going to Minneapolis, and he hit the bacon against the Quran. I can't get behind that. I think radical Islam has no place in society, period, not here, not anywhere. But I think that there are many Muslims who, and it's going to get sideways with Jeff, and I just don't care what you say, Jeff, because I can have my own opinion about things. So I want to be really clear. I spent 6.5 years in the Middle East and Africa. I know many good Muslim men and women. Many, 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 many. They're not radical. They're good people, right? And we tend to let the margins create society. In our society, the CIA disrupted 70 other nations. But over the weekend in New York City, he had an anti-Islam protest. Jake did. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Then you're going to love this. Let's go ahead and play this.
Stay back. Turn around. Stay back, guys. Out of the street! Somebody left their skateboard! Out of the street! Come on, guys, get up! Back it up, guys! Guys, get off the street! It's a different guy! He assaulted a police officer! He assaulted a police officer! He didn't throw the cocktail, but he punched the officer in the head.
Does someone have your emergency contact?
Take him
The Molotov cocktail that they threw had the ability to, if it would have went off, to kill at least a dozen people. By the grace of God, it landed feet from Jake Lang.
Wow. We need to be focused on elections. I really, all these distractions and anyone creating distractions or allowing themselves to be distracted by what other people are doing are taking the focus off where we need to be focused. We need to fix our elections. We need to prepare for these criminals to again steal everything they can this year. And it kills me to see people spending time doing things that are taking the focus off what is the most important thing that stands between us and the destruction of our nation right now. So I wish Jake would focus on elections rather than throwing something like that.
I do too. But there's so much grift. At the beginning of the show, we had the whole thing on the Institute of Peace, which is an absolute fabrication. The parents of those people that were just arrested, the bomb thrower, Ibrahim Kayumi, they own a $2.5 million mansion in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So they were raided. They were raided, and they're living in a $2.5 million home where the parents migrated from the Middle East. And this particular person says ban third world migration. I'm not sure I agree with that, but I don't know what you can do other than if somebody does, you just deny them their citizenship. I mean, what do you do? How do you do
it? We probably need to be a little bit more selective and make sure we're not bringing anyone in that would do something horrible to our fellow American citizens. But ultimately, if we don't have control of our own elections, then everything downstream, which is everything else, we'll never be able to control. Anything we do will only be short-term until the people are once again in control of their own elections, until we're counting our dots, add our dots up, and we determine who wins and then put those people in those positions of representative influence and power. We're not going to have a nation. That's it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And here's an 18-year-old. Let's put it up next to us, if you would. He's holding his right index finger up, the universal salute for a terror group.
Why'd you throw the bomb? Why'd you throw it?
It's to show ISIS support, by the way.
Yeah. Well, because of corrupt elections, there have been people put into positions that have allowed this kind of thing to infiltrate our entire country. And there are terrorists like that everywhere. And it has nothing to do with race or religion. They're just terrorists. They're people that don't value life, certainly don't value American citizens, and that are scattered everywhere around this country right now. And so they've created a massive problem. And I don't believe they created that just to never use it. So I have a feeling it's going to be a rough year.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough year, which is why I put up a post that told everyone to go buy guns, go buy ammo, go buy guns, go buy ammo. Now, selfishly, if you're in Colorado, you should buy it from DCF, and if you're not in Colorado, you should let me ship it to you at DCF. Selfless plug.
Of course, little plug there. Hey, good job.
But with these open borders that are caused by fraudulent elections over 2 decades, you have this degradation that's kind of going. Normally, society would correct itself, right? People would get
if we had correct and fair elections, of course, we would be able to fix all of this stuff. But the mechanism to measure our will is totally controlled by people that aren't the citizens of this country. That's the problem.
Do you remember a couple years ago when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl?
Couple years ago. No, I don't watch the bread and circuses.
Okay, but at the victory parade, there's a guy that basically was shooting stuff up. Right, he fired a gun in. It was the largest mass shooting in Kansas City history. Right. Super Bowl rally. Ready?
Okay. I think I heard about that.
He never served a day of jail time. And he was just arrested on 2 felony counts for armed robbery. Play it.
Fox 4 News has confirmed the suspect in the armed robbery of a man at a Kansas City gas station was one of the teens who fired a gun at the Chiefs Super Bowl rally 2 years ago.
Asari McKinnon was 16 at the time, now 18. Never served any jail time for the rally shooting. Fast forward to today, he's now behind bars, charged with 2 violent felonies. Fox 4's Malik Jackson is near Union Station, the scene of what is believed to be.
What do people expect? If a first-time offender is pretty much going to turn into a second time and a third time and a fourth time. If we just allow a slap on the wrist and we don't take care of business when it happens, all we're doing is I can calculate this. It's pretty simple. We're going to end up with a society of people that aren't held accountable for their actions. Therefore, they're going to do whatever the heck they want because there's no accountability. There's no consequence.
Okay, so then I need to bring it closer to home for you, Colorado. Okay, now I tell you of the man whose daughter was violently raped and the guy got out. And by the way, I just want you to know that that Tina Peters is in jail for 9 years. Okay, Tina Peters is in jail for 9 years for influencing a public official. Both Democrats were let out on a deferred sentence, which gets rid of the felonies, and the other one was let out on probation. Okay? 4 felony counts while trying to use people inside the state house as their slaves. Okay?
Right.
While on parole, currently on parole, Stephen Henderson was found by Greeley police to have groomed and lured a young boy into his home where he sexually abused the boy. He was released on Wednesday, case dismissed because Colorado's competency laws. He walked out a free man after abusing a young boy. Colorado. 9 years for Tina Peters, a Gold Star mom that's never has done anything wrong. This man grooms and rapes a child, and he gets let out.
Colorado has a big problem with that. Colorado's had a problem with that for decades. At least 2, if not 3 decades. Actually, it's been 3 decades, 3 to 4 decades.
How many billions do you think we spend on homeless population?
That's a lot. 3.
So you spend $3 billion on the homeless population, an average of $164,000 per person, and you can't keep people that groom and are violent predators in a straitjacket?
Of course
Makes
you can.
sense to me.
Okay, great. Criminals are running the show. Criminals protect each other. When you criminalize the victims, victimize the criminals, this is what happens. This is what I was screaming about 20 years ago on Facebook when everyone thought I was an extremist, crazy person.
Well,
when I was saying, I saw the signs.
Extremist.
Oh, that's fine. So are you. That's why we're friends. But when you criminalize the victims and you victimize the criminals, you end up tearing society apart.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I saw happen 20 years ago. I saw the signs of it, and I said, hey, we have a problem here. We have a massive problem here. Outlook not so good. Immediately stop. And I didn't know what to do as a citizen. I spoke my mind. I expected other people to have some common sense and do something about it. But unfortunately, those small signs I saw back then have blossomed into what we've got going on right now. So we can fix it, but what we need to do is treat the criminals as criminals and then take care of our victims. But it's just as simple as that. We have to get people with common sense into positions of power and influence and do the right thing. We need real law enforcement, and we need to hold criminals accountable. We need to hold everyone accountable for their actions. Period. We have no accountability in this society. Our kids are growing up with no feeling of even the concept of accountability. They don't understand because they don't grow up in a society that has any accountability. They don't know how to be accountable for their actions. That's why they just do whatever the heck they want. They do what feels good because they don't think there's a consequence, and there hasn't been. That's why they don't think there is one. What consequence is there for doing the wrong thing? Zero. And they've got no guiding light. God almost does not exist in our children's lives at this point. Very few of them. And so, that North Star, they don't have. And if they don't have that, and they don't have parents that really care about them much, what is going to cause them to make a decision one way or another? They're just going to do what feels good.
It feels good, that doesn't do good, and it ends up putting people in grave danger and hurting people. So, wow. Wow, and wow. Never seems to end, does it?
It will. When we reclaim control of our elections, all of it will end. And it'll end quickly. It'll end within an election cycle or two. And it's not going to be easy, but that is first step. If the people of the United States of America want to have true liberty once again, they need to reclaim control of their elections, period. And I don't know exactly, I'm not going to put a constraint on that or say how they need to do it, but I will say, let's try it the peaceful way. I think we've been doing that for about 6 years now. And I really hope that we end up being successful, because ultimately, if we fail the peaceful way, that leaves us in some bad times. And I don't want to go there. I really don't. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I know there are people all around this nation that are sitting there just waiting. They don't want to put the effort in because they want to take the coward's way out and just wait for it to get that bad. I don't want it to get that bad. I don't want all the pain and the hurt. I don't want people to have to suffer all that when we can avoid it. So that's why I want to spend my time educating and guiding people to a peaceful solution of this problem. And I pray that God can make up the difference of whatever hearts I can't turn. I hope he finds a way to turn them. And I hope we all decide that it's just best for our society going forward if the people conduct their own elections again and we correct all this.
Taking a deep breath. Mark, we have been fighting for so long, and we've been able to take our finger off of that proverbial trigger, right? The thing that makes us like get angry about things. And yeah, we get upset about things. But we have shown an amazing amount of restraint over the last 5.5 years.
Oh, so much. So much. Lots of deep breaths. Yeah.
But they haven't. They've killed innocent people. They've done really horrible things to people. And then they hid behind it because they own the apparatus of the media that gets to lie with impunity.
Yeah. And they have no moral compass. And so they have no rules. The rules are only for us. They're not for them.
Yeah.
And they have impunity.
We're at that kind of secret place right now, that precipice where we can start seeing things come together. What do you think the next couple of weeks? What do you think we have in the next couple of weeks? You think we get a place where SAVE Act passes?
I hope so. I pray that it does. I pray that enough people step up and do the right thing. I really do. I think there's going to be a lot of distractions. I think that the bad guys are going to do everything they can to stop the right thing from happening. I think they're going to distract. I think they're going to continue to try to divide. They are becoming desperate because they know they're about to lose their control. And desperate people do desperate things. So I think we're going to see a lot of acts in desperation. And I think that we need to stand true to ourselves, true to God, and true to our future generations. And we need to take care of our wonderful nation with long-term in mind, that this has to survive for everyone. And it's not just burn it all down. We need to be careful with what we do, but we have to save this nation. Period. We have no choice. We cannot let it go, and we're not going to. We're just not. We're not leaving this. We're not going to let this country be destroyed and then hand a destroyed nation to our children. That is not going to happen. None of us are going to do that. There's
so much that we are like up against right now that I look at and go, Well, sooner or later, it's gonna manifest. Mark,
It
how
will.
do people follow you? How do people support you?
Follow me on X, Patriot Mark Cook, all one word on X. Oh, there she is. So that'd be great. I try to communicate at least publicly on that. I've got handcountroadshow.org, which is my public-facing website. Oh, you guys are good. And then if you scroll down a little bit, see how good you are. On the upcoming route, that is, oh, okay, you're nailing it. All right, you got some good people there. That is my upcoming route here on the eastern part of the United States. That's where I'm going to be when. Little dates above each of the states. As you can see, I am in Georgia right now. I'm in Savannah and loving it. Been here for 2 days. So if you are in Georgia, you need to sign up for a visit ASAP. And that's go to my website, click on Take Action, and then request a visit. Get filled out immediately because in the next 2 days, I'm going to be scheduling the rest of my visits as I travel through Georgia. And then I'm on up to the states just north and east. I'm going to stay right along the coast all the way up to Maine and then come on back. And I want to visit every single county I can. If you want me there, sign up and I will see you soon. And I appreciate it. And if you want to support me, there's a donate link somewhere on the website as well. By all means, I'm not real good at asking for help, but I'm doing this out of my savings account and what's left of it. And I'll continue for as long as I can, as long as I can buy fuel.
All right, perfect. Well, Mark, thanks for joining me, brother. God bless you, and keep doing the work that you're doing. And we'll meet somewhere in the middle. Hopefully, maybe I'll fly out and just hang out with you at one of these events. Pick an event. I'll just come to that.
Sounds good. I actually will do that, and I will see you soon, my friend.
All right,
I love you.
good.
Thank you.
All right, love you too, brother. God bless you.
All right, you too. Bye.
So I have these surgeries that are absolutely just crushing my soul because they keep moving the goalposts, and it's upsetting when you show up and you're like, okay, I'm gonna have this surgery, and then I look at my calendar and I look at everything and I'm like, okay, I'm shutting down. And then they show up and they're like, well, you have to get a CT scan, and I was like, all right, let's go do it. And they're like, no, it has to be red. So I'm going back and forth with the doctor, and I was like, you do realize that we started this thing back in November. And if you look at over the history, it's been like 3 years. I say that because fundamentally, everything that we touch seems to be in a perpetual state of brokenness. I mean, do you ever feel that that's the case, that every time you turn around, it's someone else is able to take from you what they're not allowed to take from you. And it's like the system is designed for those people to thrive. It's designed to let pedophiles out on the street. It's designed to lock up honest whistleblowers like Tina, or to take away the job from Erik Holt, or to allow lawyers like Coomer's lawyers to get away with bloody murder, while radical leftist henchmen are acting as surrogates for really bad people. That's in actuality, that's what we do. That's what we face. And people think that we're at a place where you can't, like that people are not tired of it. They're so tired of it that they literally see red every day. I'm not to the place where I see red every day because I do the same thing I tell you to do. Because when we have density of the people that see red, then you can step out and say, okay, let's control that rage and put it in a place where we can be productive in throwing these people out. In the meantime, you still got to get to praying, standing, speaking, and acting in truth. And we already know what the radical left is. We know who they are. They know who they are. They know that they're caught. They're just waiting can we get past this? Is he going to stop arm wrestling? The answer is no, we're not. We're not going to stop arm wrestling. Like we're not going to stop, and they know it. And it's not just me and not just Mark or Tina or Shawn. It's the country that feels like it's been raped over and over and over again by radical, evil people that don't belong in our country and don't belong with their fingers in how we do things. And that goes for countries too. So the last part of this that I'm going to talk to you about is going to divide all of you. The offensive with Israel has reached a frenzy. It is not just Iran. It is Lebanon. It is Libya. It is Syria. It is parts of other North African nations. We can't even solve the problems here, and we're over there destroying the sovereignty of other nations. And you can sit here and tell me that it's Iran. We should have done this a long time ago. You ever played with dominoes? Let me do this thing for you. You play with dominoes, you line the dominoes up, and then you knock them down. You line them up and you knock them down. Okay, I can do that, Jeff. I can go to where Gatorbait holds the deal. Or if you've ever built like a sandcastle and then you crush the sandcastle. That's where we are. We let Obama send billions. We let George W. Bush say weapons of mass destruction with that diabolical piece of shit, Cheney. We let these people take from us what is not theirs to take. I can run down a list. Every leader has its own counterfeit. Reagan had Bush. True story. Bush had Cheney. And Bush was bad too. Trump had Pence. I'm still trying to figure out who the counterfeit is in all this. I have a pretty good idea. Where is the Judases and where is the Brutuses? And we just talk about elections being the number one thing. They're fighting so hard to hold on to this because they need it. I don't think it's Vance. But I have to ask you the question. Why now? We're in the middle of a midterm. Gas is at an all-time high for President Trump's campaign, or for his term. And you'd be hard-pressed if you didn't see that there are signs that we're not going to be able to resolve this anytime soon. I have a friend whose husband was just told, you have 3 weeks to get your affairs in order and you'll be gone for 9 months. He's heading to Amman, Jordan. This is not going to be a 4-week war. And the thing that I think we don't realize is that we're doing the biddings of another nation who doesn't give a shit what happens to the people. If you think Bibi cares about us, he doesn't care about us. Shit, we barely care about us. And you don't. You have President Trump that does, but he's playing whack-a-mole too. He's got all sorts of stuff he has to deal with. He has to contend with the judiciary that takes out all the meat off the bone, that tells him he has to keep organizations in place that are grifting off the American people and stuffing dollars back into terrorist pockets. He has to put up with people like that Tim Walz piece of shit up in Minnesota, who takes billions of dollars of their taxpayer dollars and hands it down to the dumber-than-rocks Somalis. And then you could just go down the line of what's happening in Colorado. The grift here is so dramatic that billions of dollars go to nonprofits that then turn around and fund people like Jared Polis and Weiser and all these other people through, I don't even know what you'd call this Act Blue thing. So we're slowly trying to turn things off rather than cold turkeying everything and saying, we need a Julius Caesar moment, because there's no one coming behind President Trump. Who's coming behind President Trump? Tell me, who's coming behind him? Who's Trump-esque? Vance? No. He's a Yale boy. He'll talk tough, but he went from not talking tough to talking tough. Grew a beard. See, who knew? Gary Bernstein has Trump's ear, and I think it's a great thing for the sake of fixing election fraud. I agree with that fully. Danster says what you're allowed to say on major social media is a psyop. Sealy 6 says Trump's son. Okay, which one? Not Eric. Eric's probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Eric Trump, man, that kid is super nice. He's too nice for his own good. Barron's too young. Keep going, though. I like where you guys are going. Who? I saw something on X about Susie Wiles stepping down. Is there truth to that? I heard there was truth to that. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that true, too, as well. Who's coming after President Trump? Lynn Boss says, after Trump, we're screwed. No, we're not. But God. But God. Jeff says Oltmann for president. Maybe. The answer to that question would be Joe Oltmann. Who is Chris? Says Rubio. What? Talk about Manchurian candidate. No, Chris. No. But I got my hands full with the governor race. And I'm so torn right now on the idea of how to fix things, because being in that seat is, I would be they'd want to assassinate me every day, all day. Why? Because I would give power back to the people immediately in Colorado. I would say we're cutting out the administration. And here's what would happen, just so you know, just so you understand what would happen. As the governor, when I came into office, I would literally gut the executive part of this and the judiciary. I would just gut it all. I would gut it all. Gut it. The administration of the Department of Education in Colorado, I would gut all of it. I would reinstitute, I would move all the people that are at the Wellington Webb building, I would move them into Denver East High School. And I would move all the students at Denver East High School, I would move them into the Mayor Wellington Webb building. Beautiful marble floors. I would make these kids, man, these kids would be showing up with these beautiful desks. Why? Why not? We're so ass backwards that we have people in government that feel like they are your slave masters, that farmers are sharecroppers, and they can just take from you whatever they want, turn every road into a tollway. Really bad stuff. I think Rubio has been a good Secretary of State. Yeah, me too. Gary Bernstein, author Ralph Pizzulo says our country is infiltrated almost to the very top. I agree with that too. That's why I tell you, man, we are not, let me just put it this way. We're not going to have a civil war. We already know who our enemy is, and it's not the people. We already know who the enemy is. You can't have a civil war where you go out looking for the people in your community, because they're not the ones that caused it. They're all hurting the same way, and they've all been told a different excuse on who's responsible. And the people that are responsible are the ones that are allowing criminals to walk the streets and being released with impunity and saying there's nothing I can do about it when you know they can. Polis is letting these people out on the street. He has executive authority to make sure that people are not released from prison, and that we have a system by order, by mandate, that can keep them in a place where they can he has a discretionary budget inside of the governor's office. I said this last night, and I went back and researched it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He could take $40 million and build out a facility and say, or $100 million, build out of $200. Does it even matter? And that's an insane asylum. And you go in there, and that's where the people go. And you're remanded there for the rest of your natural life because you are a nuisance to society, and frankly, you're half crazy. But then again, they develop a $200 million project that would be probably worth $3 million, because $197 million would go right into the pocket of the person doing it. Jeff says Satan Yahoo for president. Okay. One of the questions on, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna pray us out. By the way, these Coomer lawyers won a protection order against me, and I finish every podcast with a prayer. Every podcast. You think that was in their protection order? Oh, Mr. Oltmann showed a gun. He showed a gun on the podcast. Oh, I'm wearing a gun now. Yeah. Imagine that. I'm wearing a gun, like every other day. I end the podcast with a prayer, and I always tell people to do a few things. One, smell the dirt, because the war's coming. It's already here. We're more focused on something that we shouldn't be focused on because the Republicans don't want us to focus on it. And they needed chaos. And so they brought in this whole thing, and Congress went and said, oh, we got to do something about Israel or Iran. We have made it so difficult to support anyone. You have the people that say, I got to support Victor Marx, but he lies about everything, but who cares about that? You have people that say, I got to support Israel, and, but I don't like what they're doing, but, hail Israel, right? And then you have the people on the Palestinian side that we never get to a place where we can examine it and say, look, we should not be bombing anybody. We talk about peace and we create war. We talk about being peaceful people to control you, the slave, and yet they go out there and commit absolute violence against you every day. They are violent in their intentions. They are violent in their laws. They are violent in the oppression against you in the community. They put cameras on you. They treat you like you are a slave. And no matter what you tell me, you can't tell me that's not true. You are innocent until proven guilty, but you're not. You are guilty until you are proven to be innocent, and that's if they let you get to the place where you can be proven innocent without a judge stepping in the middle and saying, in a case like Mike Lindell or others, I found that there is pro se defamation when there never was any, and it wasn't the judge's job to say anything. It was the jury's job to come to that conclusion, but they put their fingers on the scales of justice and they defraud the American people. That's where we are as a country. Here we go. All right, let's pray for some discernment. Let's pray for safety and security, and let's pray for, I will not pray for my enemies. I will not. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll pray that they stop being my enemy. Who knows? All right, let's pray. Father God, thank you. Thank you for the blessings you put in our lives, the time that we're able to spend together here today, for the words and the actions of Mark Cook. Thank you, Father, for providing for us a pathway where we can see the light and actually execute against it so that we can remove these evil people from our society and from us from their grips. Help us, Father, that we may honor you. We may be able to discern which pathway to take, which direction to go, set aside petty differences, come together, build density, and the idea of removing all of these really, really bad people. We know how deep it goes. We know it seems insurmountable, but it's not. We know it's not. So help us, Father, to build a plan and to act within that plan. Help us so we may honor you always, may bring things back to you, and may truly seek to understand those people around us. Help us, Father, that we can defeat this evil and push it into the hole of which it came from. I ask you, Father, to help the people that are sick, that they may be healed. And to help us that we may have compassion for those people that we disagree with so that we can get to a place of common ground. Not common ideals, but common ground, that we can accept people where they are, not where we want them to be, while recognizing that they should not have control of our society. Help us to be strong in this restoration, restoring you to our communities and our country. I ask these things, Father, humbly, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Susan Rice, it's good to see you. All right, guys, go Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. If you're on Rumble right now, just do me a favor. Just go to the little up arrow. That's all it takes. I say this to you guys, and you don't do it, and it irritates me. So even if you're watching me on the big boob tube TV, because you're watching it on the Rumble app, just get your phone out real quick and just go there and say thumbs up. I'm going to do this at every show. Also, to make sure that you get information when we go live or we do a recast, go ahead and text FREEDOM to 89517, and we'll send you a text message as well. If you're on Apple Podcasts, which is growing like crazy, so is Spotify, go over and give us a 5-star review. Tell us how much you love us, and then share us with the people around you. We are growing like crazy in the most unlikely places, which is kind of weird. Hats off to Damon and for Patrick for the work that they do, and make sure that if you can, drop us a little bit of a thumbs up. You can just drop $1 or $2 too, just to give us a Rumble rant. You haven't done that. You know what? You guys don't give us Rumble rants. Why does everybody else get Rumble rants? We don't get Rumble rants. I'm going to have a conversation with you about it. And we got a couple of people that we will have as advertisers. We'll keep for a long time, so it should be really good. All right. God bless you all. And yeah, make America great again. Stand up, speak up. All right. God bless you. See you soon.
Rising from the fight for the forgotten and the free, exposing rigged machines, Kuma's lies, Dominion's deceit, pays a grand each day, shielding truth from corrupt Hall, but he won't back down, standing tall through it all. Hart and Tina Peters break the chains that bind her tight, hand count votes and one day bring the fraud to light. No more mailing scams, no machines to steal the night. Restore the people's voice, make Colorado right. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true. Badass for the have-nots, fighting through and through. Abolish property tax, cut the tolls away. Shrink the bloated state, let the people have their say. Rolling, it's our rally call. Truth and freedom rise and watch the tyrants fall. Untamed Colorado, strong and proud, we'll be one man for the people. Set our great state free. Help the single moms, bring back trade school strong. Opportunity for youth, where the brave belong. Audit every NGO, ban the wolves that roam. Reclaim our stolen land, bring the power home. Maricopa's fraud, Dominion's rigged design, expose the stolen votes, cross the dangerous line. No more victimhood, no chains on you and me. He's running for governor for real liberty. Smash the fraud machine, pardon heroes jailed for the have-nots. Rising truth will never fail. One warrior defies the corrupt elite. Colorado reborn, strong on our feet. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true. Badass for the have-nots, fighting through and through. Abolish property tax, cut the tolls away. Shrink the bloated state, let the people have the say. Governor Oltmann, it's our rally call. Truth and freedom rise and watch the tyrants fall. Untamed Colorado, strong and proud, we'll be one man for the people. Set our great state free. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true. Governor Oltmann, freedom forever, Colorado. rise up untamed. In the heart of the fight where the wild ones roam, Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real, no more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew. Truth matters through and through. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Truth forever. True forever.